Hi guys, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this live session. I am Rohan Jagadeesh, IPS Officer 2019 batch. And today we're going to be doing a very interesting live session. And joining me will be Dr. Akash Shankar IAS. Okay, so I think it's for the first time that we're going to be doing a dual live session. Okay, I'm going to see if Akash is. So for the first time, I'm going to be doing a live session with two officers. And yes, so hello to all of you all. There's Akash.
Yes, hello, this is Akash. So nice to join you guys for this live video session. So thank you, Rohan, for sending me this request, and thank you, UPSC Guide, also for giving me this opportunity.
This is fun. I mean, we've not done this ever, and it's the first time that we're doing it.
Yeah,
so,
especially for me.
Yeah. So anyway, so today's session, I think me and Akash will talk to you about the general process about UPSC and how each of us studied prelims and mains and interview, separately, and then we'll go through that. So I think Akash will start with what his strategy for prelims is.
Okay, so so my strategy for prelims was basically to cover all the basics first, all the NCERTs, all the elemental books that we have read, all the notes that we have made, basically covering all the basics that we have studied. Number two is taking a good test series. So you start a test series from January or the month of February, give decent number of tests for at least 3 months, and so that you tune yourselves to the exams requirement. And that's number two. And number three is, again, current affairs. There are a number of prelim special materials that come, especially from Vision as well as Insights. So I'd recommend either of the two. So at least one prelims special material, one test series, and covering all the basics for strategy for prelims. And I should say I've not scored pretty well in prelims, in my previous prelims. So, but with whatever that I did, I could clear prelims, and it was not so tough, I should say. Yeah, Rohan, go on for mains. What do you do?
So for mains, I think what me and Akash did was to keep things simple to begin with. I don't think we overly complicated the entire exam process. So I don't think each of us studied anything topic by topic, like sticking to the words from the syllabus. What we ideally did was we read all the prelims books again with reference to mains, and we did the standard books very effectively. And the list of the prelims books and the standard books are available on each of our Instagram handles. And along with that, we did mains 365, all of them. And then we ensured that we wrote all 20 questions in each GS paper and completed it effectively. And then, we switched to the interview process, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So basically, as Rohan said, mains is the main game in this exam. So the one who's confident with respect to mains, so the one who's confident in answering mains questions will definitely and easily clear this exam. And if you know how Rohan has written his mains, that's a very interesting story. And the ones who have seen me before mains, they definitely think that how could he even score like that? Because I used to be that easygoing before mains, because I knew that this is my main game and I'm very strong in this. So and main strategy would be to just revise everything that you've read for prelims and just keep writing. Practice is everything for mains. So that's how mains happens. But I'd say 90 happens for an exam before prelims, and for mains it doesn't happen just before mains. 90% of it happens before your prelims. You would have read all GS sources and everything before prelims. For mains, the additional thing that you do would be to write more of essays and ethics papers, as well as revising optional. So it's just 10% of the job for before mains, just before mains. And about the interview process as such, briefly, Rohan will tell you something about it.
I think Akash is better to say about the interview process over here, because largely So both of us, so me and Akash, we're both from Karnataka. We both hail from Bangalore city. And it so happens that I've scored 193 marks in interview and Akash has scored 203, which also happens to be one of the highest marks in India and also the highest mark in our state. So I think Akash is the better person to tell you about the interview.
Okay. So this was not my first interview. This was my third interview, but never in the previous two occasions that I did score decent marks. Because I was worrying to prepare for the interview previously, but this time it kind of happened naturally. And the one good thing about this year's interview was that I was keenly working on myself to be as authentic as possible in the interview. So just answering naturally whatever the question is. So I did not do much of mock interviews. I did not read much of not much. I did not read any transcript by toppers because I didn't want myself to get tuned with respect to their thinking. My thinking should be different. It has to come naturally. I did not read any transcripts. I have not written my transcript also, as I'm against that. And yeah, basically being authentic was what worked for me. I could just be as confident as possible and just flow with the questions that got asked to me. That's how interview happened. But even Rohan has scored very good scores. 193 in his first interview is not something easy. So someone who gets to give his first interview gets 193 is an amazing feat. So that's good of him also.
So anyway, I think that's like the kind of things that we wanted to talk to you about. And if you guys have any questions, please drop it in the comments so that, Akash or me will both be able to read it and we'll be able to answer things to you personally. Another thing that I think Akash can help you guys out is in the way that he's approached his optional. His optional is anthropology. Somebody's asking us a question over here. They're asking
Sir, without coaching, yeah.
Without coaching. Akash?
So without coaching, can this be possible? Yes, definitely. We did not sit in the coaching class for all those years, all those months where we prepared. So let me tell you frankly that preparation for this exam, 90% is self-study and only 10% is guidance that you get from others. Guidance is, of course, is important because it just shows you the way, the route, the correct way for preparation. But 90% is self-study, wherein you learn things by yourself. You make mistakes and learn things by yourself. So that's how self-study is more important. You can just follow strategies on different websites, exam-related websites, just like how Insights gives a strategy for the next upcoming year. What are the subjects, books that you can finish in the next month, in the next 3 months, something like that. So you can have your own strategy and believe in your own preparation, believe in yourself, basically. And if you depend or rely on coaching institutes to crack this exam, just take it from me, it will not happen so easily. Okay. So Rohan, what do you have to tell about this?
Which is 100% true though, because just sitting in class and studying for the exam is not the right approach. Because see, ideally we're also studying the NCERT books that even someone from the 6th standard is studying. So I don't think we need formal coaching in the same. But at the same time, what you need to understand is how to use the information in those books to the exam's perspective. So for that, detailed self-study is very good. So even if you're not coaching, it's completely fine. A lot of people that do crack the exam do not take coaching. And, it's all about sustained effort and hard work, which will sail you through. Somebody is asking us, Akash, to do a live session in Kannada. So... ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ಗು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಹೌದು, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಫಾರ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್, ಲೈಕ್ half an hour, 1 hour ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ KPSC ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್.
Yeah, we'll surely do it.
And people are asking us to speak in Hindi. If you can try.
I'm just going to be so bad at it.
Same here.
Akash, why don't you go for Hindi first?
No. Not happening. And Rohan, someone asked a question as to how to prepare for current affairs. So can you just answer that?
Okay, so the thing with current affairs is what I have done is I have not really used the newspaper as a source of information on a daily basis to make notes or anything. I find that to be a very futile exercise because one cannot read the newspaper for an hour and a half and then sit and make notes of it and then revise it. I find that to be pointless. So what I did was I read the newspaper and then I went to a current affairs website. Okay, there's so many websites like Insights and Vision and GS Core and GK Today and whatnot. Yeah, everything makes daily current affairs. So you read that current affairs, take a printout of it, and then revise it. That's one way to do it. And similarly, at the end of a month, find a monthly current affairs magazine. Like Vision has a magazine, and just before prelims, you get like a PT 365 or a compilation or one of those things. So you do that and you revise it, and then during mains for current affairs, read your mains 365, and that's about it. I don't think you should do anything else, and that's what I have done. Akash?
Okay, yeah, exactly. Just like how Rohan said, uh, whatever he was doing, exactly almost the same. I was also following. I used to read newspaper for an hour and then go through these websites. I used to follow just one website. That was my principal one website, and that was Insights on India. And I used to read all the current events that were there and just copy down probably one issue which I used to find very interesting, just to have the writing practice every day regularly. So I used to do that. But basically, newspaper, and then you have a website. They'll come up with current affairs material every day, and just go through them for like 5-6 issues will be there. Just go through them. You'll have an idea. And if you want to, like as he said, remember things and revise for the exam as such, you will get PT 365 and monthly materials also, like the Vision monthly current affairs material. At the end of the month, you can just buy it, read it it'll take 1 or 2 days, just you can read them. So that's how it is. And Rohan, I found one interesting question. So the question was how to change the attitude of parents. I don't know. You answer this first.
No, I ideally feel that your parents really need to support you through this entire journey, because without the support of your family or your friends or your well-wishers or your, somebody special in your life, it can be very difficult for you to crack this exam. So ideally, okay. So ideally, what you need to hope is that somebody is supporting you. And in more cases, I have seen that, boys tend to get more supported through the course of this exam because, like we don't have so much pressure on us until we reach 27 or 28 years of age. That is also due to us. But most likely many girls, right? You guys will have some pressure once you cross the age of 24 or 25 because, societal factors include that you should get married or so on and so forth. So in these cases, I would say that, in my personal opinion, I think Akash may agree, that getting married is just one part of it. Okay, so let's assume that if you get married to one household, then you can probably change that household. Okay, you can make it so much better. But imagine if you become an IAS officer, you can change the entire district, and then maybe an entire city, and then maybe entire state, and then the entire country. So I think you should be the daughter of the country rather than the daughter of a small family. So think big. There's one hashtag which you can use. It's called Bahumat Bano, IAS Bano.
Great. That's true. So, and we need to have people who are encouraging us in this journey. But the question is, why do you want to change the attitude of the parents? You should be a person who should appear as a changed personality, who should appear as a mature personality from before. And that itself will definitely bring in some confidence in your parents that this girl can do this, can crack this exam. So they should witness that transformation in you before you expect them to change. So I would say you should first become serious. Make sure that you give enough confidence to your parents for them to allow you to write this exam. And only after that can things happen easily. All of us who have cracked this exam, the role that our parents, our well-wishers have played in this exam is exemplary, I should say. And that was only because they saw that talent or what should I say, that capability in us, and then they chose to encourage us in this journey. So that's how it happened. Okay. And Rohan, one more question was, how do we manage both college as well as UPSC preparation? We're still in college, and many of the college students basically are coming up with that query, similar to that.
So I think me and Akash started pretty late. So I started at the age of 24. Akash must have started at around the same age.
Same.
So we were out of college. We were like, we left jobs and, Akash was in a job and he was studying. So I think ideally what you can do during college is if let's assume that yours is a 3-year degree program, then in the first 2 years, you can probably start reading all the basic books and the standard books. And if you want to take coaching in that same time, then do take coaching. And then by the time you're done with your 3 years of college, you should be ready enough to invest 1 year with an optional and study properly, revise everything, and then give the attempt and then crack the exam. So that could be ideally how you manage college and things. So in that time, then ideally you can study at least 2 to 3 hours every day, and that should work, I guess. Akash?
Yeah, true. Actually, when you're still in college, one thing, if serious aspirations to crack this exam, one thing that you should do or you need to do is have some orientation towards current affairs. And how will you have this is by reading newspapers thoroughly and regularly. There'll be a library, of course, in each of your colleges, and there'll be newspaper rooms. In my college, I had one. In Bangalore Medical College, I had one. I used to, and my friends who were a little oriented towards civil services used to visit that newspaper room regularly, go through some newspapers and magazines, just get to know what's going around. And that interest, if it's aroused in the early age or while you're in your college itself, that's good. So that after you come out of college and start exclusive preparation for this exam, you can just peak at the right time and grasp things easily. And as he said, start reading your basic books also, like the NCERTs. You would have lost touch after your 11th and 12th. So probably by the 3rd and 4th year of your graduation, start reading your NCERTs again. So that will again build the foundation for you. So, and so few of you are asking questions as to how do you manage time if you're a working professional. So this attempt which I gave, I was already an AC, a Karnataka Administrative Service Assistant Commissioner Revenue in my state. I was undergoing training while I applied for this exam and prepared for this exam. And it was a hectic job, basically. Even if you're in training, they'll give you independent charges and that'll be hectic. So how did I manage time was, I used to, of course, I exhausted all my leaves which I had in my account for both prelims as well as mains. I took 2 months leave for prelims, 1 month for mains. And that was sufficient for me. Because on a routine, everyday basis, I used to give at least 3 to 4 hours. At least 3 to 4 hours for this preparation. I used to have a proper plan, which helps me in effectively utilizing these 3 to 4 hours. And especially even if it's a worse day, I used to make sure that I just read the newspaper, make some notes of it, have some writing practice every day, at least 1.5 to 2 hours of investment towards current affairs is sufficient, even on the worst day possible. So that's how working professionals can manage time. But basically, what is important is, even for working, whether you're a working professional or not, seriousness. If you're pretty serious, if you're pretty focused with respect to this exam, you will find time. No matter how, you will definitely be able to gather all the confidence, all the encouragement from everywhere, and gather time also for your preparation. Okay, if you're a working professional asking for leave to write the exam, your boss should see how serious you are with respect to this preparation. They will start encouraging you if they start seeing that seriousness in you. So that seriousness shows up when you are actually inherently serious and very much focused for this exam. Okay. That's what is my suggestion. Yeah, Rohan, there are other questions also you can take.
I think somebody asked. I think somebody asked you what books you referred for Anthro. So
okay, so books I referred for Anthro, I'll share it in my blog, and my blog will be out soon, and you can have all the book list, all the strategies and etc. I'll be putting it there, so you can find it there.
Yeah, I think somebody else asked us if you can write the exam in Kannada. So, yeah, Kannada exam baribodu. No problem. I think you can write the exam in any of the 8 scheduled languages. So that should be completely okay. In fact, interview also you can give in any of the 8 scheduled languages. So that should be fine.
Yeah, and make sure that you make notes for all the topics that are there. Whatever that you find in English, translate into Kannada and make your own notes if you want to write the exam in Kannada. And don't wait for materials to come from somewhere. You will have to put in more efforts if you're writing it in your own language. But it will help you express yourselves better if you're writing it in your own language. So make sure that you utilize that advantage that you have.
Hey, Akash, is an interesting question, okay, by a girl called Amala. So she says, how can a house surgeon manage studying or something like that? Yeah. So I think you're the better person to answer that because you're a doctor.
Yeah. So how can a house surgeon manage it? Basically, when we have duties, night duties are just called duties in ours. So when you have night duties, take some book with you, and if you get free time, just make sure that you just keep on reading some books with respect to this exam. And on those days when you don't have duties, you'll have enough time. At least you can get some 5-6 hours in a day. You can easily utilize them. And in house surgeonship, not that all the 12 months will be hectic. Only few postings like medicine, OBG, and surgery will be a little hectic. So apart from that, the rest of 6 months, please utilize it well. And if you want to utilize this time effectively, utilize the rest 6 months. And please keep some UPSC related books always in your bag, so that if you get free time, you can just go through them.
Yeah, and also somebody has asked us. I think we can answer this, together or separately. They've asked us, what was our 3 attempts like? So, what were our attempts like? So, if I may start, so my first attempt I failed in prelims quite horribly, like very horribly, because that's because I didn't really know how to study for the exam. I was pretty clueless, nobody to help me. I didn't have that much understanding of the exam. So in my second attempt, I did study pretty well, but that was about 4 to 5 months of prelims related study. And again, as expected or not so expected, I failed again. So in my third attempt, I had put in a year long of preparation. I studied about 8 to 10 hours a day, 8 hours at least. And then thankfully, by some grace, I passed prelims. And then mains, of course, was meant to happen because I was good at mains anyway. And then interview also happened, and then I did get a rank. So that was my journey. I think Akash has a separate way of saying this. So over to you.
Yeah. So this was my 6th attempt basically, but the first attempt that I gave the exam just to see how the exam will be, how prelims will be. I was so immature back then that I did not even care that giving this prelims will have an account, like it will be accounted for. So I didn't know that. So that was a very immature attempt, I should say. 2014, after I put in decent amount of efforts, I gave prelims, I could not clear it. So twice I failed in prelims. And before 2014, whatever that I did was I was just collecting books, collecting sources rather than putting my time into studying those. So that was the mistake I corrected in the next attempt, 2015. I started studying the sources and I started collecting less and less number of books. 2015 it happened. I cleared prelims, mains as well. I went till the interview. 2016, after the interview, I could not clear the exam. Then 2016 attempt again, I cleared both prelims as well as mains. I got till interview, I got a rank also. I got 453, but I didn't get IAS. I didn't want to join. And 2017's prelims, that was my 5th attempt. I could not clear prelims at all. Just after getting a rank 453, after just 2 weeks of it, I could not clear prelims. So that was a very hard hit for me. And that was the time just before my 6th and the last attempt that I gave last year. So I had to gather myself right from ground zero. Many of you are asking how to start from zero. I had to unlearn everything and start from ground zero for this last attempt, sixth attempt of mine. And yeah, of course, 2018 happened. I cleared prelims again, like Rohan, with God's grace, I should say, and cleared mains also, but quite easily because I knew that I was clearing mains, and finally got this rank also. But this time, 2018, as I said, I had already given 5 attempts, 2 interviews, a rank previously. So I was expecting to get a rank within 50. I mean, I targeted to be there within rank 50. So that was my 2018's approach. So to get a rank within 50, you need to put in a lot of efforts. So I have managed to like put in efforts, and finally this happened. God's grace, I should say.
So I think we'll be winding up. So Akash.
Yeah, sure. Right.
So I wish we could speak a lot more, but then we are short of time. And but we'll try doing sessions soon. We'll try adding a few more of our friends next time. I think we can add 4 people at a time on Instagram. I'm not sure, but the thing is, we want you guys to have all the help possible, and we always want to do this free of cost. And we believe that anybody across the country, wherever you are, if you've got an internet connection, then it should all be free to you and everything's available. So I think that's the only thing that me and Akash want, and so we wish you all the best. And yeah, Akash.
Yeah. So as Rohan was saying, when I started preparing for this exam, 2013 and 14, we did not have Instagram, online sources, no much famous websites or effective websites back then. So we have found it very difficult to collect the right sources and to choose the right source and prepare from them. So now there is, in fact, information overload. And amidst this information overload, myself and Rohan, we have been trying to reach out to people through medias like this. And definitely, I hope that it'll be helpful for you, because you should get the right source at the right time. And this is the right time for us because we are going to join our foundation course in a week's time. And just before that, as we have cleared this exam, as we have crossed a lot of hurdles, we would want to just share our experiences and the goods and the bads, the rights and the wrongs of this exam. So we've taken this opportunity to do that. We'd like to do this, continue to do this in future also. Whenever we get time, even in our training institutes, we get time. If we are getting time, we'll definitely reach out to your people. And thank you. Thanks for giving this opportunity. All the best to all of you.
Yeah. See you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye. Sure. Bye.